You know what really grinds my gears? Automotive injustice. Like when a good car has a bad reputation just because it doesn't look right, or it's driven by a certain kind of driver, or there was a totally fake hit piece written about it.
You are fake news.
Well, it's time to right those wrongs. Hey guys, Stipe here with a list of the top 7 good cars with undeserving bad reputations. Let's do this thing. Number 7, Mustang 2.3 EcoBoost. I remember my grandma saying to me, "Oh, I don't care what they tell you in school, son. The EcoBoost Mustang is a great car. It only has a wrong name." And she was right. Grandma, you're so smart. This thing is getting so many tomatoes thrown its way because it has a 4-cylinder engine with Eco written on it and not a rumbling V8 like every other Mustang should. Fair point. However, this is not the first time there was a 4-cylinder turbo in the Ford's pony car. And also, I too would be throwing tomatoes if it wasn't for the fact that the EcoStang is honestly really good. Compared to an equally disliked car from BMW, Ford offers more seats, more trunk, more power, more torque, a manual gearbox, and okay, more weight. But look at the difference in price. Last time I saw a deal this good, it smelled of chlamydia. Becky, call me. Anyway, back to the EcoBoost. I don't think anyone would have anything bad to say about it had Ford done the BMW Supra thing themselves and given it a different name instead. Maybe like Capri. Just imagine this same car, same performance, same price, but with different body panels, something like this. Give me one good reason why this wouldn't sell like Ozempic at a fat acceptance event.
Well, we're waiting.
See? You can't. So let's move on. Number 6, E60 5 Series. I know I'm going to ruffle many feathers by saying this right here, but the E60 5 Series is a better car than its predecessor, the E39. It just is. And I get why so many love the old one. I really do. This was pretty much a perfect BMW. An analog driver's car with a conservative design was just mwah, you know? An instant future classic. But the facts are facts, and they favor this newer one. It's bigger, so it's more spacious, and yet lighter and more agile, so it drives better. The engine makes more power, sips less fuel, and in the case of the M5 model, they sound like a god stepping on a Lego. Fuck yeah. There's also more tech, like the heads-up display, swiveling headlights, and the iDrive, which in retrospect was the best solution for controlling all the car's settings. No, this is worse. And so is this. But none of that mattered because the main reason why this 5 Series for the new millennium ate more shit than the toilet at Chipotle's is its flame surfacing design.
Hands up everyone who thinks it's ugly.
Well, I disagree. The problem here isn't that it was too ugly, but too different. Anytime there's a sudden and big change happening, us humans retreat to our safety of our old ways. But give us enough time to get used to it, and now most of us would say the E60 looks great. But that is now, whereas back then, the hate mails were so bad that BMW's chief of styling, Chris Bangle, decided to quit car design for good. Honestly, I think we owe him a huge apology.
That looks good!
Number 5. The Chevy Corvair. In 1965, a young activist called Ralph "The Greta" Nader published his best-selling book called Unsafe at Any Speed, in which he directly blames the soaring numbers of car fatalities on the Big Three. And while there was some truth in his words, when he called the Chevy Corvair a one-car accident, yeah, that was kind of stretching it. There was a whole chapter of this book criticizing the design flaw of Corvair's rear suspension, which, according to Nader, can cause it to roll over in extreme situations. First of all, Nader, you should know you can roll any kind of car if you drive it wrong enough. And second, nobody ever said anything about the VW Beetle or the Porsche 356, which had the same suspension in the rear engine layout. The truth is, it's the engine position which made these cars handle, let's say, unpredictably, if you're used to regular cars. That, however, doesn't mean they were flawed, just different. But as the book started selling more and more, the Corvair did the opposite. The sales plummeted to such low numbers that Chevy killed it off and never returned the tainted Corvair name ever again. Years later, the government decided to test the supposedly accident-prone Corvairs for themselves and concluded that they were no worse than their competitors and did not possess any abnormal potential for loss of control. Well, too little too late, so on behalf of Corvair fans out there, fuck you! Number 4, Porsche Boxster 986. Although the first-gen Boxster was reviewed favorably and even saved Porsche from going bankrupt back then, if you took it to a Porsche meetup, the purist would greet you the same way Hell's Angels would greet someone on a Vespa. No, you can't hang out with us. That shit's for girls. Ah, yes, the old hairdresser's car stigma. Look, just because many TV shows and movies portrayed it as the it car for the it girl, that doesn't mean that you can't drive it too. Is your ego really that fragile? Besides, I can list you just as many, if not even more movies where the Boxster is driven by a guy, so there's that. And then there's that other slander about it being called the poor man's 911. Yeah, and? That means it's bad? Wrong. Not only is the Boxster good, but some would say it's even better than the 911. Both these cars were developed at the same time, and they share a lot of mechanical parts, not just the controversy running egg yolk headlights, except because the Boxster is lighter and mid-engined, it had the potential to wipe the floor with the 911. But Porsche had to protect the iconic 911, so they intentionally made the Boxster slower by giving it smaller and less powerful engines. Shame, but no big deal. This was, and still is, one of the best sports cars ever. Number 3, PT Cruiser. This might be hard to believe, but the PT Cruiser was once the hottest car in America.
So hot right now.
Because of the way it looks? What? It was basically the second generation Neon with a taller, more practical, and more importantly, the retro-inspired body. This was such a trendy thing at the time that the hordes of buyers were even paying over the asking prices just to get one. Sadly, these hordes weren't the young and hip buyers that Chrysler had in their ads, but old and dusty baby boomers. They liked the ease of entry, upright seating, and maybe the fact that it reminded them of their childhood some 100 years ago. And suddenly, the coolest new car is anti-cool.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting.
It became popular to hate on, to call it bad names like Pity Cruiser, the PT Loser, the PTSD, Grandma's car, or even the worst car ever made. But hold up, wait a minute, worst car ever? I'm all for shitting on the way it looks, but does that mean it's bad? I mean, it's not perfect, but as just a car, it was good. Enough. The ride was okay, it was practical, kind of average on the reliability scale. Motor Trend even named it their car of the year. Plus, the GT model with the manual and the turbo engine from the SRT4 was seriously quick too, so maybe it's time to cut the PT Cruiser a little slack. It's been 25 years. Time to let it go already. Number 2, Audi 5000. Some explanation first. In the rest of the world, this predecessor to the Audi A6 was called the 100, but here in the US, 5,000. Why? Because it had more options as standard, and because, well, a bigger number is a better number. Sounds too simple and stupid, but it worked. The 5000 was the
America's fastest-selling European sedan.
Even though it had one serious flaw, many owners were reporting about it suddenly accelerated when you pressed the brake pedal. Audi investigated and found no defects at all. More likely, they were pressing the wrong pedal. Hey, it happens in other cars too. But then some kid got killed when his mother allegedly stepped on the brake, and that got the attention of CBS's 60 Minutes producers. It's a TV show. They aired a story about how a negligible German company is killing our kids while claiming it's not their fault, and even rigged the cars to show it accelerating without anyone behind the seat. The episode caused the car's sales to sink deeper than the Titanic, and even coined a new phrase, "I'm Audi 5000.
Like that, then I'm Audi 5000.
The Germans insisted that any accidents involving their cars were the driver's fault, and in the end, it turned out that they were right. Independent tests carried out in the USA, Canada, and Japan proved that the 5000 model was completely free from manufacturing defects. CBS apologized, but the damage was already done, so the only option left was to change its name back to the Audi 100. Honestly, I would have sued. Anyway, it's now time for the honorable mentions. Can you guess these good cars with bad reps? Let me know in the comments. And at number 1, Pontiac Aztek. Well, could it really be anything else but the Aztek? This crossover SUV had all the markings to be remembered as one of the greatest, but ended up being remembered only for its god-awful design.
Oh, no.
Many would go as far as to call it the worst-looking car of all time, while others just piled more bad things on top of that. Like, it's kind of sluggish, and it leans in the corners. Well, I don't see any prancing horse badges here, so what exactly did you expect? Or that it's bad off-road? Listen, it's got some ground clearance, protective plastics, and an all-wheel drive. I bet it would still go further than most people would even dare to go. Besides, because it was based on the minivan chassis and not the body and frame like those serious off-roaders are, the Aztek drives much nicer on paved roads. Plus, it's got a tent. The tailgate serves as a bench for watching pig wrestling. The armrest is also a portable fridge, and it even had a heads-up display. Granted, the Aztek has some faults too, every car does, but just because it's ugly means it's total shit? Imagine if they said the same thing about William Dafoe or your sister. No. This thing is great. And if the rising prices of the used ones are any indication, many people are starting to realize that too. Good. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching, and thank you to my supporters. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cut! And I will always love you.